friends, welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated romances for 2022. This is part of a series of end-of-year videos that I'm doing. There's going to be 4 in total talking about anticipated releases for the year. If you haven't seen it already, I will link up above my video of most anticipated sci-fi fantasy releases, adult sci-fi fantasy titles. You're getting this video, and then I'm also going to be putting out a video with my most anticipated YA sci-fi fantasy titles and a video with my most anticipated horror, mystery, and thriller titles coming out in 2022. So get ready, get your Goodreads open, get ready to add books to your TBR because I've got lots of stuff coming that is very exciting. But for this video, we're talking romance, and let me tell you, there are some fantastic romances set to come out next year. As an FYI for the way this video is structured is I'm going to start by telling you about a couple of books that are scheduled to come out sometime in 2022 that we do not yet have a release date for. And I should say, fair warning, all of these release dates are subject to change. It is possible the publishers could change them or push them back. That certainly has been happening more frequently lately with what's been going on in the world. But as of the filming of this video, this is the best information that I have as to their release dates. I will be going in chronological order by month. All right, first up, we've got 2 books with release dates to be determined that we don't know a whole lot about, but I've got them on my radar and they're books I'm going to be looking out for. First up, while we are all sad that the Brown Sisters series is over, Talia Hibbert is giving us a new series in 2022. We have a yet-to-be-named book 1 in the Sky-briar series. I don't know anything about this, but I know that I love pretty much everything I've read from Talia Hibbert, so I will for sure be picking up whatever she decides to put out. Another date to be determined for release is Not Ready to Make Nice by Rosie Danan. I don't think we know a whole lot about this yet, but I really enjoyed the last release from Rosie Danan. I think she's doing some interesting things with modern contemporary romance, and so I'll have my eye out for this one as well. Moving on, let's talk about books coming out in January, and FYI, there are a handful of YA releases in this list. The majority of these are adult romances, but I'll let you know if it's YA. Because the first one is. Coming out on January 4th is The Kindred by Alicia Dow. This is a YA sci-fi romance that looks really interesting. It has 2 people who are paired with this like mental connection. One of them is a girl from like a small village, from a small planet or something, and the other one is a prince, something along those lines. I've pre-ordered it. I'm definitely excited to read it. I enjoyed Alicia Dow's first book quite a lot. Then on January 18th is Electric Idol by Katie Robert. This is the sequel to Neon Gods, which I read and really enjoyed. A lot of people have loved this. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I feel like Katie Robert has a very specific writing style, and there's not a ton of plot to these. Like, you really have to just enjoy spending time with the characters, which I kind of do. I really like Neon Gods, so I am planning on picking up Electric Idol. Last one for January is coming out on the 25th. This is Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding. This sounds so much fun. It has queer characters and a fake engagement for a reality television show. So I think it's like friends who have to convince their friends and family that they're really engaged in planning this big wedding so that they can win money on the TV show. I think that's the premise. It looks really fun. I've got a couple books coming out on February 22nd. The first one is Much Ado About Dukes by Eva Devon. This is a Regency retelling of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, so it's like a Beatrice and Benedict type relationship, which I am so here for. Much Ado About Nothing is probably my favorite, or at least one of my favorite plays by Shakespeare. This sounds like gold. Also coming out on the 22nd is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. So this is a queer rom-com where we have a character returning to her small town to help photograph her sister's wedding, even though she doesn't really want to be there. And then she ends up hooking up with one of her sister's best friends. So it's a sapphic romance. The best friend is a single mom. It looks really cute. Lastly, for February, also coming out on the 22nd, that's apparently the romance release date for the month, is The Good Girl's Guide to Rakes by Eva Lee. This is the first book in a new series we're getting from Eva Lee, and it sounds really fun. It's a historical romance where a notorious rake and an innocent debutante strike a scandalous bargain, where he agrees to take her out in disguise to see the seedy underworld of London. It looks really fun. March 1st, we're getting By Any Other Name by Lauren Kate. This is a romantic comedy that is enemies to lovers between an editor and her best-selling author. Sold. It sounds really intriguing. I've got an e-arc of this one from NetGalley to read, looking forward to it. Then on March 15th, we're getting Dating Dr. Dill. This is a retelling of Taming of the Shrew, but it's a modern romance where a love-phobic TV doctor must convince a love-obsessed homebody that they're destined to be together. I am here for all of the Shakespeare retellings and classics retellings as romances. Yes, please. I feel like that's a key word that will make me interested. I didn't say this is by Anisha Sharma, and I'm very excited for this. Also coming out on March 15th is another YA romance. This is Right Where I Left You by Julian Winters. This is an Own Voices gay romance that is geeky best friends to lovers. It's set the summer before college, where these two best friends get passes to a Comic-Con and also attend their first ever Pride and start catching feelings, which sounds really cute. Lastly, in March, on March 22nd, we're getting Savvy Sheldon Feels Good as Hell by Taj McCoy. This sounds fantastic. It's a debut rom-com with a plus-size heroine getting a life makeover after a nasty breakup. It's a Black romance, and the hero is this sexy contractor who's helping her with a kitchen renovation, so definitely looking forward to that one. In April, I've got two releases to talk about. First up on April 5th is The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. So this is the second book in a series from her, and it sounds really fun. It's about strangers who got caught in a lie and have to fake date to get out of it. I like fake dating. It sounds like fun. And then on April 26th, we're getting Never Cross a Highlander by Lisa Rain. This I am so intrigued by. It's a historical romance with a Black Highlander. So the hero is a Black man living in the Highlands. It's being pitched as Dirty Harry in a Kilt meets Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yes, please. I'm very excited for this. In May, I just have one book. May 31st is A Carribean Heiress in Paris by Adriana Herrera. I am so excited for this. I've been waiting for it for a while. If you haven't seen it on my podcast, I had an episode where I brought Adriana Herrera and Vanessa Riley on to talk about their romances, so I'll link that episode up above if you want to check it out. But on this episode, Adriana Herrera talked a little bit about the research that she had been doing for this series. It's a historical romance series with Caribbean heroines, and I'm so excited. Like, seriously, go listen to that episode, hear her talk about her plans for it. I just think this is going to be gold. Next, we have a few releases in June. June 21st is Fake It Till You Bake It by Jamie Wesley. How adorable is this title and cover? This is another fake dating romance with a reality star and a cupcake baking football player where they're trying to save his bakery. Yes, 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 yes. I'm very excited for this. Also coming out June 21st is Don't Go Baking My Heart by N.G. Peltier. This is the second book in her Island Bites series. I read Sweet Hand this year and I loved it, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. I don't know much about what book 2 is going to be, but I really liked her debut so much, so I'm excited to try this one as well. Then June 26th, we've got our last YA book. This is Accomplished, a Georgie Darcy novel by Amanda Quain. It's a contemporary YA Pride and Prejudice retelling from the perspective of Georgiana Darcy. It's got high school band, it's got like all the things, Pride and Prejudice retelling, like, oh my gosh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Definitely excited for that. Lastly, in June, on the 28th, we're getting American Royalty by Tracy Livesey. Oh my gosh, like, this cover is so good. This is loosely inspired by Meghan and Harry. I am living for it. I've read a book by Tracy Livesey before and was a huge fan, so I feel like this is going to be a hit. Lastly, I've got two releases coming out in August. August 2nd, we're getting Husband Material by Alexis Hall. This is the sequel to Boyfriend Material, which I freaking loved. It was hilarious. Also, like, it has this thing of like a hot mess guy and a buttoned up guy getting together like gold. So this is a sequel following their relationship as they move towards marriage, and I feel like it's going to be amazing. Lastly, on August 23rd, we are getting Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. She debuted with The Love Hypothesis, which was a huge hit this year, and next year we are also getting like 3 little novellas from her. I didn't put them on this list, but Love on the Brain in August is going to be the next full-length book set in the same series. So I don't know much about it, but I'm gonna read it because it'll probably be great. I got through all of those way faster than I was expecting, but there you go. A bunch of amazing looking romances coming out next year, so put them on your Goodreads. Pre-order the ones you're interested in. I am very, very excited for all of them. Talk to me in the comments down below and let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on anything I talked about in this video. And for your question of the day, obvious question, let me know what is your most anticipated romance release for 2022. Let me know what's on your radar in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, it helps if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.